To start your project, you want to start with your completed simple house project. Now, I've done everything that needs to be done for this project, turned everything in. I have also saved it. So, after I've done that, what I want to do is the first thing is come up to File and Save As and select Project. I want to change Simple House Project to something else. I'm going to go with SHP Model File. The reason I'm going to do that, add caps lock on. The reason I'm going to do that is because I am going to alter a lot of the stuff in this project. And by doing that, I am going to have to delete some of the things that I've already done. And I'm going to have to change the way some views are set up. And so I don't want to alter my original. That's why I'm going to go ahead and make a whole second one that is this model file. Okay. The model file is where you're going to do everything you need to do to make the actual model itself. Okay. So once I do that, I'm going to hit save. And I am going to verify at the top that my file name changes. Right now it's taking a while to save. Yep, there it's gone. Because there's so much in this file. So I might do some things that looks weird just to help speed things up. Okay. Um, So what we have to do is we have to set up a very particular drawing with the views we need so that we can send that file through a program called CorelDRAW to our laser engraver, so it will laser cut and laser engrave all of our pieces so that the house parts look like house parts, roof parts look like roof parts, and everything will fit together because they'll all be cut at the same scale. That is the big thing that we need to do. So a couple of the first things that I'm going to do. First off, if you do have large files like the car files, I would go ahead and get rid of those because they are just gigantic and they make a lot of this stuff very difficult to do. Um, I hit save real quick, hoping that would speed some things up. So some of the things that you're going to need to get rid of. Several of our sheets, um, since they have the view that we need on them already, we won't really be able to use them multiple times. So I'm going to actually highlight all the sheets by clicking the top one, holding shift, clicking the bottom one, and pushing delete, which as you can see gets rid of all the sheets. Okay. Now, as I go to put views on pages, I won't have the same problems of trying to put it on a sheet and it not wanting to go. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is where it says sheets, I'm going to right click and I'm going to click new sheet. Then I'm going to click load. And in your title blocks, you should find one that is LE for laser engraver, 32 by 16 model layout. Okay. And what you're going to have is a large rectangle. Make sure that's the one you pick. It should be the only LE that you have loaded. I have a couple others for other reasons. So again, 32 by 16 model layout is the one you want to pick, and you're going to pick OK. And it's basically a large rectangle. This is your board. Okay. This is the board that you're going to be able to engrave your pieces all out of. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to bring in my elevations. Okay. Now, to each elevation, what you need to do is you will need to open it up. And as you look at the elevation, we've already hidden a lot of stuff, but one of the big things we need to hide is we need to hide the roof category. Okay. So truly, the easiest way to do it is probably just to hide the roof and to right click and hide anything else that is not a wall, a window, or a door. Literally, those are the only things you want showing. Okay. No furniture pieces, no nothing. All right. So again, this is going to become a three-dimensional model. I don't want my patio table engraved on my wall. That would be the equivalent of, instead of buying a patio table and putting it on your patio, just painting the view of a patio table on the wall. All right. We don't want to do that. We want a clean wall view. Okay. And so I'm going to go then. And as soon as I do each one, I'm going to actually go ahead and grab that view and bring it out on here. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to make sure I'm at 1/8 inch to a foot. And again, make sure there's no title. So you can turn that off either in the edit type or individually. It's okay if the box hangs off a little bit, but you want to make sure none of the edges do. You can try moving it with your arrow keys as well. You don't want it touching the very edge, but you do want things kind of close. So we'll put that in there. Next thing I'll do is the north view. And again, I should be able to just hide in view the roof category. And I should be good to go there. And then again, I will close that one and bring the north one in as well. Again, I'm going to put it up close here. And make sure we're no title. Go ahead and pause it and get it up in there close. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to do the same to my remaining elevations. All right, as you can see, I now have all 4 of my major elevations. Now, as you look at my ground level, you'll notice there's a couple of walls that are not visible in your standard elevations. That is namely this wall here and this wall here. This wall's partially visible from the west side. If I go to my west one, you can see that that's what was highlighted just a second ago. So if I go back and I click on it, when I come here, you can see it highlighted. So that's just also a way to check and see what's going on. So as you can see, again, I've only got part of that wall. And you can see the edge of it is right there. So I need to create some extra elevations. So the first thing I'm going to do is on my ground level tab, I'm going to click the checkbox to show hidden elements. I'm going to unhide the category for my elevation markers and bring those back. So I've got those back now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to View. I'm going to go to Elevation. And I get this little pointer box. And then based on the wall that I get it close to, I can set it down. So I'm going to point it kind of at that wall. And then I'm going to point one at this wall. As I do those, it creates elevation 1A and elevation 2A. So I'm now going to name these. So as you can see, I get a line and I get a depth gauge and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to put this slightly into the house. Actually, let me also zoom that or bring this in. So I'm going to bring it slightly into the house so that I know I for sure get this corner. And I want it just showing that edge right there. And when I do that, elevation, this one's called elevation 1. So elevation 1A is going to be, I'm going to call this one east wall or east facing wall. Okay, you can call it whatever you need to. I'm going to take this one and I am going to move the line a little closer. I'm going to move this into the house a little bit. And I'm going to move this down so it ends there. And this is my west facing wall. That one named as well. Now I'm going to hide all the stuff that I don't want to see. So I'm going to hide these 2 markers. Hide in view category. Ooh, that was not what I was looking for. Okay, so try that one more time. Hide those lines. Hide in view category that. Hide in view category the I believe that one was the yeah, I got the roof, got walls, got floors, and I can bring this down a little bit so I just get, because all I need is this individual wall. So I can have this one all nice and tight, and I'm going to change the view scale to be 1/8 of an inch like the rest of them. And I'm going to do the same to the east facing wall. No reason to cut the video here just because I can do this rather quickly. So we can do that. The other way to do this is I can come in here and I can just turn off stuff like floors and roofs. And if I have any lighting devices showing, and that should do pretty much all of what I need. Get rid of these as well. Hide in view category, those. Now I have just the wall. And again, I'm just going to kind of make this nice and tidy. Already made it 1/8 of an inch, so we're good to go there. As I go back to my piece here, now I can drag on the east facing wall, and I'm just going to put that there, and the west facing wall as well. And again, just to get those in there, I also would have room. Does look like I have room down here as well. I'm going to just go ahead and put them down there to be as efficient with space as possible. Yeah, there's plenty of room. I'll just move these over into the corner just so that they're good. All right. So now I've gotten all my walls, and I can verify this by, and this is a good thing to do, is the next thing I'm going to bring in is actually going to be, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my site plan. So I'm going to double click it. I'm going to open it up. First things first, I am going to change this back to hidden line so I don't see a lot of this stuff. I am going to hide in view the category of roofs because I don't want to see those. I am going to kind of drag and highlight a bunch of stuff. Be very careful what you highlight, but basically try to hide in view all the stuff on the inside. Okay, you won't want to hide in view the category of what you call it, the sorry, I moved my fence off a little bit. You won't want to hide in view the category of walls. So don't hide the category of walls, but you can hide just about every other category. Um, what I would do is when you select a bunch of stuff, you can actually click. I've already done this, so that's why not everything was showing, but you can click and drag in an area. And actually, if you click and drag in this direction where you hit the dotted line, anything this box touches, it will select. And then you can do hide in view elements. It'll hide all those elements. The furniture, you can use the category, but you want to kind of set that so it's not going to do everything. Now, on my site plan, there's also a few other things I'm going to hide. I am going to hide the category of the trees so that all the trees go away. I am going to hide the category of the property lines so that those go away. I'm also going to hide the category for railings so that my fence goes away. So what you will see I have the floor edges, and I have the so besides the floor edges, I have the walls. That's really all I need, but you do want to do this in your site plan. The other thing to do would be these some of these floors. So this one, and actually what you can do is you can use your drag tool and select them like this. And these are all floors, and if I change them to my grass floor, you'll notice I don't have a filled pattern anymore. So, and I'm going to do that here as well to get those all as grass. And again, the inside ones, you can just hide those because what you don't want is you don't want it engraving a pattern. You want something very plain, very bland like this. This gives you the size and the location of everything. So as I do that, I can now bring my site plan on, and I'm going to put that over on this edge of the board. Again, not right on the edge, just kind of off to the side. So now I'll have this middle section for all of my roof panels. And what I can do is I can go around my house. So if I start with the north view, I've got the one with my garage door, my front door, and a couple of windows in it. So I've got garage door, front door, couple windows. I created the special elevations for these two walls. They're down here. As I look at the west, I've got um, this big wall, and I've got this wall, which are part of my west elevations. That's here. I do also have the little extra piece, but I'm not going to use that. From the south, they've got the two chunks, one that's kind of under the patio with the patio door, and the other one that's the longer wall here, or shorter wall here. So got patio, and I've got my other wall here. And then from the east side, I've got just the single one, and that's the first one in my list. So I have all of my walls. So as I look at it, we start from the garage doors. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 walls total. And remember, anywhere where there's a line, a vertical line there, it would get cut. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not counting the partial, 9, and 10 down here. So I am matched up. You do want to make double, triple sure that you're matched up as well. At this point, we're going to start to create some three-dimensional views that'll give us the proper views of our roof panels. At this point, we need to create the views of our roof. To do that, we're actually going to do them in 3D views. So I'm going to open up the stock 3D view so we can just see what's going on. As you can see, you've got your northeast, southwest compass here. You've also got this little view cube. And what you want to do is we're going to use these views, okay? And they're the ones where we are looking at kind of the top left from the corner. And this is from the west view. You can see I'm looking straight at this panel here and this panel here. So what you need to do is you actually need to go and create, sorry, I think I actually have to do this from a different view. 3D views, and I go duplicate view. Sorry, that's what I needed to do. I need to duplicate the view. And when I duplicate this view, what I can do then is just like in my flat drawings, I can crop the view. I can show my cropped region. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my cropped region right down around one panel. And just like this. You'll also notice I'm already in hidden line. So if you're not in hidden line, you're going to want to change that. And the other thing you can do to avoid having to delete some of these extra lines later is you can hide stuff in the view. So if you go into visibility and you click none, sorry, they're not. There you go. Sorry, you click all and then you click the dots and then you come down and then the only one you want to turn back on is roofs. Click OK. All you'll see is the roof. Like even if I want to hide in view element and get just that view. If I try to hide the other side of it, it's one roof, so it's not gonna work like that. So the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to rename it, and I'm going to call it West 1, because as you can see, this is a view from the west, okay? And I'm going to calling it West 1 because I'm also going to end up, and what I can do is I can actually duplicate this view, and on this one I can I'm going to undo the cropping of the view, and you can see my other roof came up because I hid this one. So on this one that's the copy, I'm now going to move my box. So this is a quick way to do multiples where you need it from the same side. Okay, so instead of West 1 copy 1, I'm going to rename it West 2, and I am going to crop the view. So I only have that one. And as you can see, if I come to mine here, I can bring West 1 on, and you're going to want to make sure that they are the same 1/8 to a foot scale, and again, no title. And you can start to stack these in as you are done with them. And I'll bring in West 2 as well, and again, 1/8 and no title, and I'll just bring in these and stack these in as well. You might want to go back, and I'm going to actually go back and hide the line so I don't have extra stuff. When we get into the other software where we're actually programming this for the engraver, we'll be deleting a lot of that stuff. So I'm going to duplicate my 3D view again. This time I'm going to click the south, and then I'm going to click the corner of the box, and this is my view from the south, so I can get this plane. Actually, the one I want to show you is my north view, because on this view, I'm again going to go to Visibility and Graphics, highlight all of them, turn it off, go find roofs, turn just roofs on, hit OK. Sorry, we're going to go ahead and hide those as well. So what I'm going to do on this roof is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to hide these two. And the reason I'm going to do that is that gives me this one big rectangle, so I won't have cutouts where those attach. The nice part is just trust me when I say this is going to make assembling this roof a lot easier. So I'm going to do that. I am going to crop the view, show the cropped region, bring all these around and in tight. There's the end, this in tight, and this down like that, so that we're right in here. And this one we will rename our north view. Sorry, I duplicated that. That's not what I needed. I needed to rename it. So this is my north. And since there's only one, I only need one, I'm going to go just put that on there. Come back here, bring north in. Sorry. Bring north in, set it down, no title, 1/8 to a foot, and make sure it's sitting in a good spot. And I left the box on again. So we won't show that. All right, and now I've got 3 more roof panels to make. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here and come back once I've made all my panels. After you get all your views on, so all of your roof panels, all of your walls that might be hidden in little niches or by other walls, all your 4 elevations, your plot plan, all organized. This is what your sheet should look like. You'll also notice I did leave myself some open space here, because after I cut all this out, if I was to have a problem with a wall, lose one, break one, that sort of stuff, I'm going to have a good section of material here that I can cut out of my own scrap again if I needed to. So that's a really good place to be in. You're going to want to, number one, double check that you've got everything. If you didn't notice already when I'm sitting on this sheet, a lot of the things will highlight in blue. showing that they are on the page. So looking at all of your elevations should be there. Your 3D views, except for the one that is it was the regular 3D view, should all be there, and your site plan should be there. So once all this is done, not only will I save my project, but I will also come up and I will also come up to the file menu at the top, go to export and PDF, their current window. It's called SHP model file. That's fine. And you can just, the only thing you need to do is under page size, use sheet size, which is right. And we want it to zoom 100% so that we know that everything is actually that 1 to 6 to 96 scale. Okay, so zoom 100%. And then you click export. We don't need to save the settings for a future session. And what it's going to do is it's going to export that PDF file, and it's going to live in the same folder that this project is saved in. So wherever it is you save this project, that's where that PDF file is saved. And that's the file you'll need for the next video where you bring your PDF into CorelDRAW and start to finalize the setup for the laser engraver.